The 50UP Club and Adelaide's 5AA have combined forces to send a clear message to corporate Australia and Canberra that the over 50s are tired of being ignored. Now, this club will campaign on behalf of South Australian consumers 50 and over, lobbying for their interests and creating the special offers they deserve. Now, the 50UP Club has got about, I hadn't heard of them until fairly recently. The 50UP Club has grown to about 200,000 members around Australia. And this is where it gets all very interesting. Now, my guest in the studio today is a bloke that I know reasonably well, although only by telephone, because he's a well-known consumer advocate, and he's Christopher Zinn. Chris, thanks for coming in this morning.
Good morning, Leon. Nice to see you in the flesh.
Yeah. Now, in terms of people, we've got huge numbers of people getting disconnected because they can't afford electricity. We've got people, even with reasonably good jobs, who have to go to charities. Like Peter Sanderman, for example, from Anglicare, tells us that a lot of the people that go to him have got jobs, but they are barely able to afford paying their power bill. So what is it that the 50UP Club, 50 and up, can do?
Look, as you heard from the Prime Minister, there's not a lot that government can do. At least we're going to have to wait for government. Are you going to wait for government to do anything? There is probably more that industry could do, but are we going to wait for them? I think the idea of the 50UP Club is that actually, while we rely on regulation and various protections, actually the more we can do now to help ourselves, the better. Now, as an individual, you can do that, and you can do energy audits, and you can shop around. But if you're with a whole group of other people, and now 50UP Club's 200,000, you can aggregate that demand. You can aggregate that consumer power to get a drive. And that's where we think that actually joining something like this can help you take the steps to begin to make the savings. So in terms of electricity, that may well be finding a better offer, switching, for example. It might be getting the confidence through others as we move into an era where those who already have solar move to solar storage through batteries. There's an exchange of information where, these 200,000 people have a lot of time and nous in terms of comments.
Let's say we engage 50 and up to do something for us. What would be the reasonable expectation of what you could achieve?
Well, look, say in terms of switching, there is an offer that 50UP have at the moment, which is with Click, which is one of the second-tier providers, as we call. That's an average saving for a house in South Australia, about $565. Now, it's going to vary.
That's a year?
That's a year.
$565.
And that's an ongoing discount, and it's in terms of usage and supply. So usage is the amount you use, supply is the daily charge.
The problem is, and it's not your fault, the promise you make today could be a different one later, because these damn retailers, what's just happened here in South Australia. You've had AGL put up their prices by 13%. You've had Origin go up 6 and a bit. You've had Energy Australia up by nearly 15%. And a lot of the people that were dealing with these companies were already on contracts. And so some of them have had their conditions changed where the discounts they thought they were getting, maybe it's 20, maybe it's 15, maybe it's 25, have been diminished. So what do people do, and how good is the offer?
I think I would say check on exit. See what exit fees there are about you leaving the contract to see what is better. One of the problems with people over 50, every decade you get over about 40, you become more loyal, you become more rusted on. And that, of course, comes at a cost. And I can imagine that people don't want to chop and change too much in life. But the more agile and mobile you can be, that's it. And in terms of any offer that 50UP might be about private health insurance or electricity or any of the other things that we look at, is just look at it, see if it works for you. I think the idea is it's very hard to find the very best for you. Some people can do that, they have the nous, they have the time, but many of us are satisfied to get something a bit better, which is moving us in the right direction.
All right, so what sort of person is the perfect subject, if you like, for 50 and up? What sort of consumer?
Well, I think that they are that age cohort. We're people who've been through this demographic bubble. We've changed the world as we've grown up. We're, 1/3 of the population. We're a massive political force. In terms of...
All right, so you've got, let's say we get a lot of members in South Australia, which I suspect you will. You go to a power company and it might be that of those people, they're on different deals. So are you telling us that whatever deal you're on, you guys will have a look at it and say, OK, this is for you, or look, you're better staying where you are?
Definitely. Look, some people will already, it might be for legacy reasons, be on a very good deal. And this can be the case, as I've said, with electricity,
Sure.
superannuation, private health insurance. I suppose that what we do is with the group, with the power of the group, we make find an offer which, for the majority of people, will make a significant saving. That's what we hope to do.
Let's say Thelma's got solar and she's not very happy with the input tariff she's getting. Would the 50UP Club help her?
Look, it could do, and it depends on the electricity office. Some of these things include solar, some of them don't. As I've said, I've no doubt over time, and hopefully sooner rather than later, we'll move into solar storage, because that's going to, with batteries, because that's going to be a massive growth area. And it's one where there's quite a bit of technological confusion and competition, and that's where a group like this, I think, can help some people.
All right, I want to cut to the chase. Let's say a lot of people are interested. What do they do?
Go to 50upclub.com.au. You can register. There's no cost or no obligation. And just have a look and see what there is on offer. I mean, we do campaigning as well. We do surveys. I've taken those to Canberra, to the decision makers, to let them know what people over 50 think. And I must say I've been reassured by the kind of reception we get, because they know what a powerful group this is, and they know when they get organised that they can get things changed.
Is there a number you can call if you want to have a conversation? Because some people, I mean, I'm into the .com.au and phones and iPads and all that stuff. But for those people who would rather deal with a person, is there anybody they can talk to? Yeah,
well, look, I would just initially, rather than just give a number and get swamped, I would say at least if you can go to 50upclub.com.au, and that's 50 FITY, there will be a number in terms of the electricity offers and different ones that you can do.
So what happens there? Because let's say people say, I want to get as much as I can get off my bill. What happens after that?
You just have to give some pretty basic details of your usage and where you are, and then you will be sent some information about the offer, and then you can make your decision.
So you're not going to need a Ouija board, a prayer book and a slide rule to do this?
No. Although, like anything, the little bit more work you do, the more information you can get and the better decision you can make. But I would say, we can only get one, in terms of electricity, it's one size. We think it's pretty good, but I don't twist your arm around that. There's no hard sell. You look at it and see what you think. We're confident in terms of the number of people who've taken it up that it probably does work for them.
Chris, another question. In South Australia, and I mentioned this to the Prime Minister, our prices are ridiculous, even compared to, and the whole of Australia is high, but we are higher again. So does that mean that 50 and up can do more for SA people?
Well, I hope so, in that the discounts which we can offer a high amount, which would be a bit better than from a lower amount. But that's cold comfort for people. I mean, certainly there needs to be regulatory change, particularly in South Australia. It's to do with the wholesale prices and really state government policies that seem to have brought this upon you. But as you've said, you really want to lose that unenviable title of being the most expensive in the country. There's no reason why you should want it.
So again, repeat what people have got to do.
Go to 50upclub.com.au, FIFTY, and just have a look. You can register very easy, so there's no cost, no competition. This is about getting an extraordinary group of people together to share their interests. And some of that is about electricity and private health insurance and life insurance and other things. Some of it is about campaigning for change. It's about retirement incomes, superannuation, what's happening politically. There's a very vibrant community in the way that they talk with each other. And I think it just liberates a lot of energy which these people have. I mean, a lot of it is about work and actually access to work in later life and pushing away the age discrimination.
So to get the best out of this, when you go to the website, what do?
You just give us some very basic detail. Well, just your email address.
Have your bill with you.
It's handy to have your bill with you. We do quite a few surveys, and people are very generous in the time to fill those in, and that gives us more information and data about you. And again, we can take that to the decision makers and indeed the industries that we deal with to get better offers and to drive the kind of change.
What's the best offer you've been able to achieve for anybody? You would surely know by now.
I would have thought, look, one of it is around life insurance, because what was interesting about that is there's a great degree of underinsurance and confusion about this. And that's been an offer which has encouraged people who didn't have life insurance and were too scared to actually go into it. So I think that was something that's worthwhile, because if you need it, and, you talked about life insurance earlier with the Prime Minister, want to be able to rely on it. So for me, that was one of the key ones. But look, private health insurance is another big one. That's a number one concern for the over 50s in terms of the escalating costs. So people find savings, and I think they find understanding around the market.
Okay, I'm going to put the mockers on you. I want you to keep us in the loop on all this, and let's know how it's going. And the more we can save people money, the better. And again, right now we're talking about energy bills. And is this just for electricity, or is it for gas? Because I've had a couple of people email me and ask, can you ask Chris, because some of them have got dual energy. They've got gas and electricity. So can you do deals for both?
We do. I mean, Click, which is the provider here, I don't think does do gas, but we do them with electricity and gas in other states. So no reason why it couldn't actually happen here too.
Okay, Chris, thanks for joining us.
No, my pleasure. Thank you.
That's Christopher Zinn, who is a consumer campaigner from the 50 and Up. And you've heard the address. It's www.50upclub, all one word, .com.au.